Hello YouTube, so today I'm going to do a room tour video, and basically what I'm going to do is just a complete overview of everything in my room, why it's here, why it's special to me, and why I have it in my room. So I'm going to start here. This is the door, this is what I see when I walk in, and so I'll start with this. The first thing that I guess is noticeable in the room. This is a picture of a Ferrari Testarossa, and this car was very popular in the 80s. It's one of the most unique, in my opinion, Ferraris ever made. They were pretty fast back then. They're not as fast, or considering newer cars, they're not as fast. Their top speed is 186. It's a V12. I'm not going to really go into too much about that, but I've always thought that the design of the car, the unique 80s design of the car, has always been interesting. It's very, very nice inside. Handcrafted leather and all that other stuff. It was so luxurious that they actually had a line of suitcases and tote bags for the car that you could fit in the back right here. So I've always thought that's pretty interesting too. And this car was also on Miami Vice, which was a show that took place in the 80s. I'm not talking about the movie. The show ran from 84 to 90, so yeah. I've always thought the design of the 80s has been unique, like the way the architecture is, so yeah. One other thing is it says Bruce Miller up there. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's just because maybe it's the dealership or something. If you know, just leave a comment. And then down here is my speaker, my first speaker. This speaker is part of my system. I really haven't done much of a video on that, so this will probably be the first time you guys have seen it. And then my modem and my backup battery for that is up here. It's AT&T reverse. It's pretty fast. I think it's like 25 megs per second, which isn't bad. The speaker, it's about, I guess, almost 3 feet high, I think. It's a Sony, and the model number is SSU521AV. It's got a tweeter, a little bit of a bigger tweeter, and then the bass speaker, or the subwoofer. Then the next thing is this little table. This is where I have my TV and other things like that. That's a needle for my USB Sony record player. It's a very cheap record player. It doesn't sound very good, but I use it to rip vinyls onto iTunes and stuff like that. And then under that I have a few CDs. Those are pretty much all the CDs I have. I don't listen to CDs very often, and I only really need them when I rip them to iTunes. So I just have them back there. And then here's a little sound bar, or I guess not little, but this is the sound bar, which is part of the system. Since everything is pretty much analog with this system, I don't use it. I just use the 2 stereo speakers on each side and the 2 behind me. It's pretty much what you need for vinyls. Vinyls aren't really designed to have a center speaker, so it sounds more natural. The system I have is Dolby Digital, or whatever, however you say it, compatible, but I don't use it. I'll maybe use it once or twice a month, and I listen to a lot of music, so I very rarely use this. It sounds okay. It doesn't have very good sound to it though, so I just pretty much have it up there for decoration. And then here's the TV. It's just a regular CRT TV. The name tag, the brand fell off. I can't really get back there to show you what it is, but it's pretty much a generic TV. These TVs have been made under a lot of different brands. I mean, it's a decent TV. Like I said, you can see, it is component, so you can get a pretty high quality picture off of it. And then under that, I have my PlayStation 2. I used to have a PS3, but I sold it. Hopefully I'm going to get another one soon. This PS2 is the 3rd release of it, so it's about 2003, 2004. It's still the fat model. The slim is a lot tinier than this. And then these are all the games I have right now. I'll go into depth on the games that I have once I can build up a collection again. I used to have about 100 games, but when I moved into this house about a year and a half ago, the movers stole a bunch of stuff, and unfortunately those games were in that. So this is all I have right now. But I do have my favorite game of all time, which is Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I love this game. I think it's one of the best games ever made. And then it's like the top 3 selling on the PS2. So It's again 80s, so no wonder I like it. And then over here I have my sunglasses case. I made a review on those, the vintage Ray-Ban Wayfarers, the tortoise colored ones. And then I have Miami Vice, all the seasons. I have the South Park movie Pulse, which is a Pink Floyd live concert from '94, and then Pink Floyd The Wall. That's one of my favorite movies too. And then I have a green controller, DualShock 2, and then down there I have some firecrackers and an old VHS player, like late 80s. I would use it. I do have a lot of VHS tapes. It's just that I don't have a crossover for my audio system. So once I get one, I'll have that up and running, and I might go over like a video of my VHS or whatever. And then I have my memory cards right there. And that's pretty much it for this. I have a PS1 aftermarket or third-party PS1 memory card, and then the PS2. And that's pretty much it for that. Okay, and then probably the best part of the video in my opinion so far, which is my record player. It's a little dusty and I have some cups up here. I think the dust just stuck to it or whatever, but this is a Technics direct drive automatic turntable system, SLL3. Technics was very common back in the 80s and 90s, even 70s. I forget the name. The company that starts with P bought them out. Panasonic bought them out, and they're still around. They do make very professional vinyl players. They still do, but they're like $2,000 and $3,000 record players. They're more for DJs and stuff like that. But this one was probably one of the best home systems you could have gotten in the mid 80s. This is anywhere from, I looked it up, anywhere from 1986 to 1987, or I'm sorry, 1985 to 1987. They were very rare. They didn't make a lot of these, and it's very hard to find needles for them. I did find one for $40 on eBay, but hopefully I can get one pretty soon. The needle's still good on it though. This isn't just a typical record player, it's a linear tracking system, which means that this needle right here slides back and forth on a conveyor belt, if that makes sense. Unlike like a conventional record player where you pick up the needle with your finger and set it down. It helps with the tracking and how much weight the needle puts on the record to get the best sound. Everything's automatic with this, which is something I like. I don't mind the typical record player either, but this just has a lot of features most don't. The only complaint I have about this whole turntable is that the plastic is too dark. You can't really see what song you want to choose on the record, and yeah, like you really can't, if you want to do it manually, you can't really switch a song because you can't see the rings on the vinyl. And then if I lift it up, you can see here how it works. It just slides back and forth right here, and that's the needle itself. You just pop it off and put another one in there, and if I shine this in here, you can kind of see where it's all oiled up down there. It just slides back and forth, which is pretty cool. This record player was about $3,000, $2,000 to $3,000 when it was produced. It was very high end. That's even more than most CD players back then. And it's really heavy. It has weights under it to keep it down. You can jump up and down on the floor all day long and it won't miss a beat, which is more than I can say about the Sony USB one I have. It's just a super cheap belt driven system, which a lot of junk happens with it. You have to get new belts for it and stuff like that. This one is direct drive, so you don't need any of that, and it's just really reliable. Down here is all the settings for size, speed, and all that good stuff. And then right here you can choose a song, just if you had an iPod, you can choose a song from 1 to 8. Most records don't have more than 5 songs on each side, but it gives you that option. Let's say if I wanted to listen to number 1 and number 4 or 3 and 5 or whatever, you can put in a combination of songs. It'll find them. I'm not sure how it does it, but the needle just slides back and forth and it finds each song. I don't see any lasers or anything, so I've always wondered how that works, but it does do it. It takes about 2 minutes to find each song and then start playing each song. But you can, just like an iPod, you can repeat songs, different things like that. You can skip a song, go back to a song, and all of this is done automatically. You just have to press the button. And then the cueing, that sets the needle down on the record and lifts it up. You don't touch the needle at all. The door is always closed when you're playing it. And then start and stop. So I really like the features on here. I've never seen a record player quite like it. It's just too bad that it's so hard to find parts for it, but nothing's wrong with it. It's quartz, which I'm not sure how it helps with the record player, maybe with timing or something. It just sounds really good though. And then power, of course. And then under that is the cassette player I have, our cassette deck. It's a 2 cassette deck system for playback and recording. You can also play on each side, it doesn't really matter. And then on top of that, I just have a few cassettes and stuff. But I have Metallica in here right now, and I'll just show you. It pops open and you can take it out and put it in. It does sound really good for a cassette player. Cassettes aren't really known to have good quality, but if you have a good cassette player and a good cassette, you can sometimes get CD quality. And if you think about it, if you go to a garage sale or something, you can get a whole album for about 25 cents. You can change record level, so it's a pretty high-end system. You can change the balance and all that when recording, and then I'm not even sure what this is, but it does have the doubly stuff. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I don't even use it. And then you can replay songs just like an iPod. Pause, all that good stuff, recording. You can only record on that side though. And then under that is the tuner, which in other words a radio player. It just finds radio stations, and you can have preset stations. I think all of them filled up with preset stations. It's really easy to use. You can just tune like this. It has automatic tuning and AM and FM, which is pretty cool. And then that's quartz as well, digital synchronizer, all that good stuff. This entire system is about from 1990, about 1991, 1990, some of them. I think actually all of them are from 1991. The turntable is the only thing I bought that separately. And then under here is the amplifier itself. You've got video, tape, or other words, cassette, CD, tuner, radio, in other words, and phono, which in other words again is the record player. It's very loud, and this isn't two separate things, they're together. And this just lets you adjust the treble, the bass. You can change speakers and stuff, and balance. So it sounds really good. Something though is that I never really turn it up past 3, and I have 3 up if I'm just gonna hear a song really loud. And if I put it past, the loudest I've ever had it is about 7, and if you turn it up to that, you can hear it throughout the whole house. It's just very loud. I don't know if it was meant for a concert system or a professional system or what, but even with the big speakers I have, I don't turn it up past 3. You could probably blow a lot of stuff with this, so I have to be careful. And then you can change the different settings. I always have it on simulated, which is pretty much just standard stereo. And that's pretty much it for that. Under here is the CD player, and I'll just turn it on so you can see it real quick. I don't really use the CD player. It only works for, I've had this system for about 9 or 10 months. The CD player worked for about 6 months, and then it just stopped working one day. It won't read a disc, and it can't find discs. It's a 5-disc changer. I don't even know if it'll open. Yeah, it doesn't even open. It'll open sometimes, but I don't even really listen to CDs, so it doesn't bother me. I'll replace it eventually with an older system, but it's not a priority for me. These systems are known to be very good, so I'm not sure what the problem was with this one. And then down here I have a bunch of, these are my favorite records in here under all of this. I have Pink Floyd, Loverboy, The Cars, Led Zeppelin, all kinds of stuff like that. And that's what's in here. And then up here is a little bookshelf. I have all my singles up here. I don't have a lot of singles, but these are the ones I have. This was a gift with a Pink Floyd record I got. It was free with the record. It's One Week. It's a pretty common radio song, or not really such of a radio song. It's more of like a late 90s song. I mean, it's okay. And then Howard Jones, Things Can Only Get Better. That's a pretty common radio song. And then this is a Pink Floyd The Wall movie single. This has pictures from the movie and stuff. And then on the album itself, it has When the Tigers Broke Free and Bring the Boys Back Home, which are the movie editions of those songs. And then The Police Wrapped Around Your Finger, pretty common radio song. One Night in Bangkok, pretty common radio song too. It's a really interesting song if you ever listen to it. And then Don Johnson, he was the main character on Miami Vice. And a lot of people say he can't sing. I think he can sing okay. I also like his well-known song Heartbeat, which some people say is the worst song ever sung, but I think it's an okay song. And I just have some change up here and stuff like that. This is a Coke bottle from France. When I visited France, I got this. As you can see, they're a lot smaller than the Coke bottles we have here in America. And then some Lipton peach tea that I got in Brussels. They have this throughout Europe, and if you ever visit Europe, you should try this tea. It tastes amazing. I wish they had it here too, because it's probably one of the best teas I've ever tasted. And then under that, this is a bunch of records. These are like 60s and early 70s stuff. I'm not really into that. I'm more into the mid-late 70s and 80s and early 90s stuff. So I guess new age rock or whatever you want to call it. And then I have a book about the 80s here. A lot of this is my mom's stuff, but this whole entire collection is a mix of my stuff and my mom's stuff. So yeah. And then under here is a bunch of Spanish records and stuff from the 50s and older, which I'm not really into that at all, so I don't listen to that. And then that's my cassette collection. I just have that thrown in there right now, but I'm gonna organize it soon, and I'll do a video about the cassettes that I have. Most of these I have on vinyl, so I don't even bother with a lot of them. But like I said, if like half-price books and stuff, you can get an entire album basically for 25 cents, and it doesn't sound half that bad. Then right there is just a little DVD player. It's still in the box. I'm trying to get rid of it. I don't really need it, so hopefully I can sell that soon. And then here's just the other speaker. They do sound really good. It's not real wood though, and these are about from 1992. Then up here I have an Apple QuickTake 200. This is one of the first digital cameras. I do think I did a video on this a while ago. So you can check that out on my channel if you'd like. On the back you've got a tiny like 1.5 by 1 inch screen LCD, and you can just take simple pictures with this, like 480 pixel pictures. It's a decent little camera. I just have it up here for decoration though. Okay, and then on that side I have, here's my bed, and then I have the other rear speakers. That is the G4 Cube outer case, and then the speakers, that's what's on top of the speaker, and then I have a little poster of the Cube up there. Then coming over here, this is a model of my truck that I have. It's a 93 Ford Ranger STX edition. These were pretty rare as well. They didn't make a lot of these, and they're pretty hard to find. The only difference from this one and mine is that mine has different looking rims. But yeah, I got this on eBay. It's supposed to be a dealership model that they had in the dealership when they were selling these. It's pretty cool to have, and the little bed comes down and everything. Up here I just have my keys, my hair, or my hairbrush, and a Metallica thing that I had in the cassette player. My laptop, this is my MacBook. My MacBook Pro needs a new hard drive, so I'm not using it right now. And then over here I just have some random stuff, some CDs, some DVDs, and these are my Sony extra bass headphones. They're pretty good for monitoring and stuff like that when I rip vinyls. Up here is the actual Cube itself. Here's the computer. I have it so the airport card is facing this way. And then there's all the ports and stuff. The Cube's probably one of my favorite computers, and it's the only one I have left from my collection. I sold most of it off because I didn't really have room for it or the need for it. But I'm never going to sell this one. It's just a very unique computer. And it's just good for decoration too, because it's pretty much like a piece of art. And here is the other set of speakers. It's identical on the other side as well. Small tweeter, medium sized or bigger tweeter, and 2 subs. These are great rear speakers. They're also very good sounding front speakers. They don't have the same sound as the rear or the ones in the front, so I prefer these in the back. These are about from 1998, and they do sound very good too. They both have great sound quality, both the models. And that's pretty much it, I think. If you want to see an older version of my room, it's about a year ago, I guess. I'll leave an annotation for you to click that now. I completely remodeled, moved everything around about a week ago, so things should look pretty different back then. And I think that's still when I had all my Apple stuff. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. and I will see you in the next video.